Jon knows Duke. Jon is Duke, a very successful player, and then coming in as a special assistant to the coach, and then eventually an assistant coach, and really was prepared to be a head coach, whether it was Duke or somewhere else, and thankfully at Duke. But knowing the place, and again the type of student athletes that we bring here to Duke, who would be a great fit for our program and for our university, that was really helpful. And then Jon had done his homework. He'd done a lot of studying on succession, had really looked a lot at programs where succession behind an iconic head coach worked and where it didn't. And so really during the interview process that came out under him understanding what could possibly make this be a really seamless transition, and I think it has been.
So excited to have a special guest on today's show. We're in the Champions Club here, joined by Nina King. Nina, as you know, is our athletic director, our university vice president. I've been fortunate to know Nina now for actually over a decade, if you can believe that. And one of the things with our relationship, Nina is responsible for giving me the best phone call I've ever received. And anybody else who feels sensitive or hurt by that comment, deal with it. Nina's the one who interviewed me several times and called me to tell me I'd be the next head coach at Duke. So always a special feeling with that. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's really special to make the phone call as well. It's a lot of fun and one of the benefits and perks of the job.
Well, I will say, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but the phone call that you made, the first thing that you said was, "Are you ready for another Zoom call?" And I was like, yes, I am. And you're like, "No, just kidding."
Yeah, we only had a handful of Zooms. It was a pretty intense interview process, and I know you as the candidate must have been feeling a lot of intensity, but it certainly goes both ways. I mean, as the interviewer and one of the decision makers, there was a lot going on our side as well, but ultimately landed in a fantastic place.
Well, thank you, and you must be very proud with new football coach. You did the women's basketball coach with Coach Lawson and Coach Elko, and a lot of new pieces and new programs here. How do you feel about how everything is going? And for you, year two.
Year two. Some days I still feel like it's day one, and sometimes I feel like it's year 10. There's a lot. But I'm so grateful. I had been here for 13 years prior to assuming this position, so I knew the place, I knew the people, and really made for a little bit easier of a transition. But year two, just as fast-paced and intense as year one, but still having a lot of fun. A lot of our sports performing at such a high level. Our student athletes are incredible. There's a lot swirling, but still fun.
Well, I mentioned 3 sports, but how do you manage 27 sports and how to make the rounds and help as much as you can? How have you managed that so far?
Yeah, 27 sports, 750 student athletes, as well as rec and PE, so club sports, intramurals, and then the golf course. I would say, every day I go home and I think, gosh, did I spend enough time with fill in the blank, sport, coach, student athletes? There's just so many moving pieces to running this organization. So really just trying to figure out how to prioritize time, focus, and where the kind of hot spots are where I need to spend my time each day. It's certainly a challenge, but I feel like I've got now in year two really a good rhythm in making sure that I'm visible, engaged, and really kind of paying attention to everything we've got going on.
No question. Have you ever considered in any of these sports, or like for us, for example, demonstrating how to play the sport? Like for us, I've asked you before to shoot a free throw or to play defense, or is that something we can just, I would like to ask you while we have an audience, if you would do that for us.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you in front of the audience, no. Not trying to embarrass myself. Haven't been shy about telling folks I'm not an athlete. Didn't play sports growing up, and so I'm really kind of unathletic, and it would be really embarrassing if I got out on the court and tried to shoot.
How about, tell us about your background with not playing sports, but having a passion for it, obviously, and how you've made a career out of it.
Sure. So growing up, I was always a sports fan. I grew up in Tampa and had a lot of great professional sports around, and so just a big fan. But then when I went to college and undergrad, really developed a passion there. I was a student manager, and so I have a soft spot for all the managers and all of our programs, but really had an opportunity to work with a lot of coaches and administrators, and saw behind the scenes really what a college athletics department was like. And so after I graduated, I interned in the athletic department, and really then decided this is where I want to focus my career. And so a handful of years later, here we are.
Yeah. Would you be surprised if you told yourself 20 years ago this is where you are now?
100%.
Yeah.
Even I would say 5 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
really in terms of developing kind of the desire and to want to be an athletic director, it took me some time. I was perfectly comfortable in the role I was in before as a deputy AD, kind of behind the scenes, assisting a good athletic director, making sure that he had what he needed to run an athletic department. I was really happy working with Kevin White, but then when he told me he was retiring, oh boy, here we go. So a lot of personal reflection, and I knew I was prepared for the job. I knew I could do the job, and so again, here we are.
How about, let's talk about the famous Dr. White,
Yeah.
and how often are you and Kevin in touch, and how's your relationship with him?
Yeah, it's great. So we are in touch very often, actually, because when he retired, he became a full-time professor at our business school. He had always been an adjunct, and we had co-taught a class over at Fuqua. But now that he's full-time, we're still co-teaching, and now we just happen to teach 3 classes a year. And so I get to see him once a week throughout the whole year, at least. I often call him for advice and mentorship still. He's still on the hook to answer my phone call.
As he should be,
Yeah.
by the way. Let's talk about, me and you have had a lot of conversations with the fact that the timing which I've taken over our basketball program, but really most importantly, you're taking over our athletic department with such a transformational time in college athletics when you think about everything from NIL and college realignment and all the things that have come up. How have you handled that, and what is your goal for Duke moving forward?
Yeah, well, I tell folks it's my job to make sure that Duke is positioned to take advantage of the changing landscape, and there's really a lot swirling out there, a lot of changes. I think change is good. As an NCAA, we're becoming more modern, hopefully a little bit more nimble to adapt to today's modern student athlete. And so what we're going to look like as an organization, that kind of worries me, but we've got a lot of folks talking about the need for change and really developing some ideas how we can move the organization forward. And so I enjoy being a part of those conversations, and really when we're talking kind of big picture to really think about how Duke is going to be positioned to be a member of the NCAA and the ACC moving forward. So there are a lot of different things, as you mentioned, NIL, the transfer portal. We're asking for congressional help on a lot of topics. We need some federal legislation to kind of help us reset and have an even playing field across all of our Division I institutions. So that's a lot and a lot swirling kind of outside of Duke. But again, all of that impacts kind of how we lead and run the department here.
Well, I know for me and for all of us, we are as grateful to have your leadership and going into the new era of whatever this is in college athletics. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your leadership. And we'll still get you out there sometime. I'm not giving up on getting you out there at practice sometime.
We'll
just so that would be really great leadership. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
But thank you for joining us.
Thanks
for
having me. It's been good.
Duke All Access is brought to you by Gatorade and our commitment to fuel tomorrow. By Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. And by Coke Zero Sugar. With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious, is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself.
I need to try it first.
A
big bow box says a lot about a person. Like they have a mighty hunger, a powerful thirst, and take tailgating very seriously. Game day and beyond, grab a football-ready big bow box.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
At Therabody, we believe that everybody deserves a chance to keep going, keep dancing, keep celebrating, and reuniting.
It's never too late to rise. You got that fire in you. It's never too late to rise.
Because everybody is a Therabody.
A big bow box says a lot about a person. Like they have a mighty hunger, a powerful thirst, and take tailgating very seriously. Game day and beyond, grab a football-ready big bow box.
I need to try it first.
On the drive, block Mitchell. What a play by Mitchell. Zachary had a really good lane to the basket, and Mitchell doesn't try to get close to him, and he gets that ball before it gets to the backboard.
Zachary on the drive, got by Mitchell. Oh! Blocked by Mitchell! Out of bounds, last touch by who? What a recovery by Mark Mitchell for the rejection. It looked like Zachary had the layup for the lead.
I was guarding a different man the whole game until that last possession. They just put me on him for that possession because they wanted us to get a stop. And actually, I was kind of caught off guard. If you actually go back and watch the play, you can see he actually kind of drove by me, and I had to recover and make the block because they ran a little clear out, side out play. But I just tried to make a play on the ball, and that's what I did. Obviously, I should have stayed in front of the ball better. But, I just was trying to make a winning play, go up, make a play on the ball, and just not let him get an easy look.
Well, with Mark, he's, in that play in particular, we switched him on to the best player because we felt he was going to get a stop. And it really was one of the all-time great plays this year. And I hope he's got a couple more in him. I'm sure he does. It's not easy to do, to be able to guard the other team's best player, the best perimeter player, and also have to go to the offensive boards, rebound, get in the paint, be ready to shoot, drive. There's a lot of responsibility that Mark has, but he's really done an amazing job on defense, taking the other team's best player out. And when we've been able to do that, we've been right there to either win games or we have won. And it's a credit to Mark and his attention span, but also the work that he puts into his craft.
Actually, growing up, I really never thought about, it was just not a part of the game to me, you gotta play both sides. My dad always stressed it to me, and I think even coming here, I kind of try to take my defensive game to a new level. Just a lot of times guarding the best opposing wing player every night out, and that's something I try to pride myself on. And I think it's just something the team needs. That's what Coach Scheyer has asked me to do, and that's what I try to do throughout the season.
They go for Young, a post touch with Robracha, double team comes, he finds Mitchell, cutting to hammer it down, and he'll have a chance for three.
Mark has been as consistent as any worker, as anybody on the team that we have. He shows up every day. He does whatever you ask him to do to his best, to the best level that he can, and he's gotten better because of it. And really, you've seen strides with him on the defensive end. He's had the ability to do it, but now knowing how to use his physicality, use his length and athleticism to be a strength of his has been a huge thing for our team. And I know he'll only get better from here.
Got a nice screen from Young, fed it to Mitchell, off the window and in.
And with that being said, next year I'll be joining the Brotherhood of Duke University.
Obviously, Duke is the biggest stage in college basketball. But just the people, it was just really the family environment. They talk about the brotherhood a lot, and that was just really real. I could really feel the guys all loved each other, and everybody around loved each other, and that's something that you don't really feel everywhere else. So I think that was one of the main things. Just the atmosphere, the environment, the campus, everything was just something that really fit me, and that's why I ultimately decided to come here. I think I made a good transition. It is kind of what I expected it to be. I don't think it's, playing last year, playing in IBC, playing against top schools, playing against a lot of future NBA players, it's a lot of difference between playing 18, 19-year-olds compared to playing 23, 24-year-olds. But just playing in that rigorous schedule last year, I think definitely prepared me to play in the ACC this year.
I heard about Mark Mitchell going into his junior year. I watched some highlights on him. I talked to a couple scouts and his AAU coach, LJ Goolsby, and LJ just raved about Mark. Talked about what a great teammate he was, his versatility. Mark actually had an injury where we weren't able to watch him for a summer. And so, and during that time also it's COVID where you couldn't travel. So was able to build a relationship with Mark, with his family. When I found out I would be the head coach, that same day I called Mark and I said, I want you to come to Duke. You've known that now for a long time, and this doesn't change anything now. And after watching him in person, just his feel, his competitiveness, and his ability to be a great teammate is what has always stood out to me. And of course, he's got great talent and has a really good knack for being able to score, pass, rebound, defend, do everything you could ever ask for on the court.
We hit 1 minute to go in the opening half. Jeremy behind the back, got some space, had Mitchell on the baseline for a rack attack.
I think I've always been kind of noticed one of the top prospects in the country since I was younger. I just always focused on getting better. I never really looked at that as the end goal or rankings or anything like that. I just kept trying to push, keep trying to get better, and that's just what I'm trying to do now. I don't really look at any of the outside noise. I just try to focus on me and control what I can control, and just keep trying to get better every day and do what I can to help the team win.
Looking back door, not there. Cross court stolen by Mitchell. A chance to run in transition, a step through, and a two-hand flush.
I know the car accident wasn't technically your fault.
But we,
as the insurance company,
deny this claim.
We might fix your car.
But medical bills?
Pain and suffering?
Lost wages?
You're asking for a lot.
Oh, you've got a lawyer.
This conversation is over.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call on the Hurt Line, the law offices of James Scott Farron, right now.
People have trusted Reed's Jewelers with their life's moments since 1946. That's because we're family owned. We treat everyone who walks through our doors or visits our website as a part of our family. We have a beautiful selection of jewelry and watches for any occasion. We offer free shipping and returns, as well as multiple payment options to make sure you find the perfect gift. See why people have trusted Reed's Jewelers to celebrate their life's moments for over 75 years.
Behind every journey is the road that got you there, and your Carolina Ford dealer is there for every mile. That's what it means to be true blue. Right now, get great offers on a wide selection of new Ford vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. Ford trucks and SUVs ranked #1 in brand loyalty. We're going the extra mile so you'll be true blue too. Now get 0% financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 retail customer cash on the new 2022 Ford F-150, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Duke Basketball 360, presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires.
5.1 to go. The final score is going to be 72-64. As the Blue Devils saw their lead get away from them here. They led at halftime 34-30, but they fall by 8, 72-64. And wow, the Clemson fans have stormed the floor, beating a ranked opponent here for their 13th consecutive win.
Well, the fight and the commitment to win from the beginning of the Clemson game was there. You know, we built up two eight-point leads on the road. We were winning for really 35 minutes of that game. And for us, the learning curve that you have to have when you have a lead or a tight game down the stretch, you know, the one or two plays you need to make in order to win. Whether it's a rebound, it's valuing the ball and taking one more dribble to make an entry pass, those kinds of details were really the difference of winning and losing. It wasn't about, you know, the competitive edge we had, or it wasn't about the commitment to win. So for us, there were some positives to definitely take from the game. Well, of course, none of us were happy with the loss and the outcome.
Shefflin going to try a deep one. No, in the rebound for Blakes. Shefflin just 3 of 11 coming in. Long hit ahead for Whitehead. Fed Lively to throw it down. Proctor working his way, lobs it for Lively, who hammers it down.
The block on one end, the slam on the other, and Duke's got an 8-point lead.
Rebound strong for Filipowski. He's closing in on a double-double. That's now 9 points and 9 rebounds for him. Proctor to the baseline, and Young found a cutter, and Filipowski, who dunks it down. Now for Whitehead, off of a screen sent by Young. Back for Young along the baseline, able to catch, reverse it home for 2. Good give and go, and Ryan Young now with 6, and the Blue Devils by 4 again, 38-34.
When we've gone through some tough stretches this year, it doesn't come from a selfish place, but we tend to feel like the person with the ball has to make the play. And instead, when the game gets tight or the game's on the line, that's when we need to cut harder, move harder as a group, and really think about the guys off the ball more than whoever has the ball in their hands. And so that's something we spent a lot of time in practice this week, getting into the second or third action in our offense where you break the defense down. You give them a chance to make a mistake. You make them, you put them in a position where you drive the ball and they can foul you. And if not, you have kicks or finishes. And so for our guys, just understanding what are our go-tos and then understanding who's on the court. We've had a lot of different lineups this year. We've had injuries. We've had illnesses where, you know, we are still adjusting to what our strength is. And so if I have Filipowski inside, I'm going to hit him. If I can get Derek or Mark attacking middle of the paint and on drives, I want to get him to do that. So that's a huge step for our team, just getting the continuity of playing with each other.
4-point lead for Clemson. 5 in a row by Brevin Galloway, and Jon Scheyer wants a timeout.
No matter what you say or what you practice, sometimes you have to experience it. And even talking to some of our players after the Clemson game, especially the freshmen, there's no way they thought it would be this hard. It's hard to anticipate, you know, playing on a road and the level of play that comes with that, especially when you're playing a really good team like Clemson. All the road games we've played, you know, really good opponents. So that's definitely been an adjustment, but now I think we do have enough experience where we understand each game, no matter who you're playing, no matter where it is, you need to bring that level of effort, competitive edge, hunger, and that's the minimum. That's the baseline of what you need. You still need to be smart. You need to value the ball. You need to play every play. All those kinds of things come with it as well.
Change your Gatorade, bro. Yes, sir, from Punch. I remember way back when. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Sitting in my Brooklyn has done it. And everybody say, I remember way back when.
Start playing and never stop playing. You get the most from the game when you're having fun.
I remember way back when.
We still believe in the American dream.
A dream filled with promise. A dream filled with commitment to our neighbors and our communities.
Where we work hard and succeed together.
Where we take care of those who serve for us.
SRS delivers with integrity and purpose.
Through the fastest growing family of independents in the country.
Company by company.
Person by person.
Rooftop by rooftop.
SRS Distribution delivers more than building products. SRS delivers dreams.
There's a reason every Odyssey is named after the Odyssey. Because the world's most famous story isn't about staying put. It's about being there. So for those who want a story to tell, we have a world full of places to start.
Behind every journey is the road that got you there, and your Carolina Ford dealer is there for every mile. That's what it means to be true blue. Right now, get great offers on a wide selection of new Ford vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. Ford trucks and SUVs ranked #1 in brand loyalty. We're going the extra mile so you'll be true blue too. Now get 0% financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 retail customer cash on the new 2022 Ford F-150, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Oh, Lively picked his pocket. Ahead for Whitehead. 2-on-1. Give it to Proctor. Lay it up. Count it, and a chance for three. It's Proctor on the right. On the drive. Floats with the right hand. Off the window and in. It's a screen from Filipowski. 10 on the timer. Crossing over into the paint. Spins up. Lays it up and in. Big time for Proctor. He's got 12. The lead is 6. 1:13 to go.
I'm really proud of Tyrese and how he's handled adversity this year. You know, he's starting from an international background, so the game is new to him. It's just a different way the game is played, how each possession is valued. There's an adjustment there, and then you add into the fact he's coming here a year early. Like, this is supposed to be a gap year for him. So he's done a tremendous job adjusting, battling through adversity, battling through not playing as well. And, you know, we have a lot of confidence in him. We feel he's really taken the next step these past few games of running our team, helping get guys in a better position to score, be effective. And then you see him being aggressive, which we need him to be as well. So really proud of what he's done, and to see him coming into his own is a big deal for our group.
Proctor calming things down. Defended by Beadle. Gets a screen from Ryan Young. Penetrates right side of the paint. Scooped it up. Got the roll. Tyrese Proctor with a big-time scoop to the hoop, and it's 54-51.
Attacking the Clemson defense down low.
Well, Jeremy being out, we've all had to step up more. Jeremy, of course, has been a key guy for us from day one, and he's been our leading scorer, second leading scorer in the season, and really handled most of the ball handling duties for the entire year. So with Tyrese, he had a chance to step up even more. He's taken it and run with it, and when Jeremy gets back, it'll make our team even better.